Commissioner Barr.
No report, Your Honor.
Is this your last report?
This is my last report, yes.
Makes me sad.
No.
Finance Officer, Andrea.
In the consent agenda, you will find a reimbursement resolution for the Industrial Park Road project. What this allows us to do is if we incur any expenses from this point to the time that we get the funds from the bond, it allows us to reimburse ourselves from that bond. And we have to have that resolution in order to do that.
City Attorney, Jim.
No report, Your Honor.
Economic Development Director, Beth. Not here. Director of Parks and Public Works.
Mayor, actually I do. I'm Southern.
You're Southern.
Just real quick, reminder, this Saturday, or Thursday looks to be our first major snow event of the year, so JR will be instituting that snow ordinance if we get what they're thinking. He starts generally about four inches or more, he'll institute the snow ordinance, so good chance if we get what they're predicting, that'll be in effect this week, so just a reminder.
Are we putting railings on our steps?
Actually, I will cover that in my report, yes.
Sorry, I asked.
All right. Utility Superintendent, Roy.
All right, Roy.
City Engineer, Wayne.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is a pay request in the consent agenda section of the packet. For pay request number 3 for the open trench work that was performed up there. There will be one more pay request for that contract one next month, but the underground work is done, completed, and the lining, rehabilitation work, the trenchless work is set to begin on January 2nd, so you'll start seeing much more activity up there again, different contractors, different type of operations, but we're moving forward with that. That is it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Director of Public Safety, Joyce Garrett.
Yes, sir. First item on my agenda is 1004 Story Street. In your packets, you should have a written agreement that we received from the owners of Wilson's at 1008 Story Street on what they plan to do with that shared wall. I know we discussed a while back, there's concerns by council that shared wall, who is responsible. Jim and I have had several conversations with them. I believe at this time they feel that it's their responsibility to fix that wall. In the packets, like I said, is the written agreement, what they decided to do. Talked with Wayne a little bit about this, and we know that we need to have them get hooked up with Ed for all the appropriate permits and everything like that. We'll be allowing them access to 1004 Story Street so that they can do some of these improvements, and they've asked until December 2013 to complete that. Anything else, Jim?
No, I think they've had it looked at by a couple of contractors and believe that this will solve the stability problems that they have.
So we're to the point, I guess, that we're seeking direction from council, if that's acceptable to you, that you allow them to fix that to this point, and then we can reevaluate the property when the wall has been fixed properly, or if you want to move ahead with 1004 Story Street and take some action at this time.
What's our liability situation of letting somebody go into 1004 with the structural situation we've got there?
I think they've had it looked at and they're comfortable with that, and I don't think we've seen any immediate problems with it structurally. So I don't see a problem with anybody going in.
And I think the concern was with the engineer's report that heavy snows or anything like that could further deteriorate the roof on 1004 Story Street, which then could in turn affect the shared wall with 1004 and 1008. So I mean, we'll keep an eye if we get a heavy snow, and then, I mean, they're one in there, we'll probably evaluate that.
And as they do the work, there's going to be some follow-up as well to see what they're doing and those kinds of things. Correct?
Yes.
We will know when they're in there and those kinds of things.
I think we're all great.
Do we need a motion?
To allow you to move forward down?
Yes.
Yeah, I would.
So second. Call the roll.
Engstrom?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Lefty?
Yes.
Allen?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Hickok?
Yes.
Okay, also as requested, goal setting in your packets was the school resource officer activity report that you can view. Thirdly, in firefighter that was given approval previously to move forward to replace a firefighter that has left. And the last thing is the railing at the police department. They're finishing their punch list. They're getting pretty close to being completed. If you remember, the railing was going to be just an iron pole, so to speak, and then down kind of like it was before, and then painted. Actually, we've come up, well, actually, it's not me, it's Grayball took the initiative, and I approved the change to come up with a railing that looks a lot better. It's a little more fancy. And that has been ordered, and the cost is double what according to Kevin from Grayball, the cost is double what the normal railing would be, but they agreed to eat that price, or eat the cost, to put it up. And I'll just, well, you asked, I'll show it to you first. So it's railing with the top and the bottom with slats, whatever you call it, in between. And then there too, it'll have cleats on each side of the railing. And sure, you can pass that around. So.
Yes, I did.
I suppose,
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I suppose you want your initials on this.
No, they're talking about the plaque. We'll wait until we do the plaque and see. But anyway, I think it looks really good. I appreciate Grayball bringing that forward and doing that at no extra cost to the city. And it looks, you'll see, it looks a lot better than what that normal railing would have looked like.
Does it go all the way down the sidewalk, or is it gonna stop on the third step?
That's a good question. I think it's at the last foot would be on the bottom step, so that you're right there to grab it when you start going up.
Okay, but they'll have a step and then the railing will start.
Yeah. That's my report, unless anybody has any questions for me. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, next up, City Administrator Luke.
Yes, the resolution 2135 that you added to the agenda, that resolution was included. That is just simply consideration of the DOT funding agreement regarding South Marshall Street reconstruction, which is one of those documents that we have to move forward with when we're using those, the funds, STP, Wayne, I believe is the old. Yes.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ray?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Allen?
Yes.
Pitt?
Yes.
Pickla?
Yes.
Nystrom?
Yes.
The only other item I have is just to say, Barb, it's been a pleasure to work with you,
Yes.
and you will be dearly missed.
Number 6, consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda you would like removed and discussed separately? And if not, I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Call the roll.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Allen?
Yes.
Pitt?
Yes.
Pickla?
Yes.
Nystrom?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes. Okay, number 7, ordinances. First consideration of ordinance 2188, Vision Bank, Cedar Point Golf rezoning R3 to C1.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Rusty?
Yes.
Allen?
Yes.
Pitt?
Yes.
Pickla?
Yes.
Nystrom?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes. Okay, number 8, mayor's comments. I do want to make a quick comment on, we're going to have a discussion tonight on resource officer. I've had a fair amount of people contact me that are worried that we're not going to have a school resource officer in the school. And I've tried to make it very clear, and I think I speak on behalf of the council, that we are all in support of having an officer in that school. And we've been in a contract with the Boone schools. There's been some discussion, and I believe in being transparent, and there's been a little discussion back and forth, and they were gonna be here tonight, now they're not. What my concern is that this thing's being tabled in light of what happened in Connecticut, and we're gonna wait to discuss this later. I'm ready to discuss it now with them. I think that we are ready. I'm very much in favor of having that officer there. I think we pay our fair share, and I guess what I'm saying is I hope the school steps up and does the same, so.
And I'd like to add that, it shouldn't have had to be an issue just because of what happened Friday evening. That administration over there should be concerned about safety regardless of what occurred. But also keep in mind that what occurred the other day, as tragic as it is, can and probably will happen again. And that's why we have to be proactive. So,
As I read through all the comments from staff and everything else in this packet, I can't believe we did the discussion and not have it.
I agree.
Right. Yeah, and that's right. And what worries me is that, you know, it's easy to say, well, you know, we can't budget for this or that. We've made the tough decisions here at the city. We've stepped up. We've made those tough choices, not rehired people. We've eliminated positions. So I'm not gonna have a lot of sympathy for someone coming forward and saying, well, it's this or that, or we can't afford this. To me, safety is just as important as those kids getting a good education. So I don't wanna hear that if we do this, we may take away from the classroom. I still firmly believe that the safety of those kids, I've got one over there, and I think a lot of people do. And it's just important to have them safe as it is to get an education. Without that safety, there could be people that don't get an education. So we've got to be, I hope everybody's on board. I believe they are. In our goal setting, I think everybody was. So I just say I look forward to meeting with them if that's what they want to do.
We're paying, what, 25% of the total cost?
Yes.
Anyway, and I'm sure there's other costs that we're taking care of that are not included in.
We're paying for 25% of the salary and benefits, car, certification needs, equipment, and training,
any overtime?
any overtime incurred at the time. And that's all,
Did you say clothing?
clothing is part of the bargaining is,
Yeah.
so, and paid in full on our part for that full portion of our contract.
I was up there this afternoon at 3:05, and I hardly got through that door, and I saw Officer Powers. The visibility, you just can't, you can't put a price on it. So,
So are they have an idea about when they might like to talk about it, or?
Well, I don't know. I received, what was a draft letter, they retracted that already, and so it concerns me that we're gonna put this thing off. And let's deal with it. We need to know because we have scheduling, budget issues as well, so.
well,
And I'm ready to sit down and talk salaries. I've done all my homework. I've done it all weekend. And, I mean, I'm ready.
Is it the school board that's actually making the decision?
Well, I don't know that for sure. Do you, Liz?
I don't know.
I mean, we keep saying they, but do we
Yeah.
know who they is?
I really don't for sure.
I think that we were all pretty much clear and on the same page with goal setting. I guess, Mayor, I reiterate that very strongly to them that we're willing to talk, and what's going on now is not an issue to us. It's what should have always been the issue.
Right.
And we're gonna stand firm.
I mean, is it just a dollar amount that they're
Correct.
unhappy about?
In their board review minutes, they posted on their Facebook page, they stated it was the current strain on their general fund paying position.
We all have strings on our general fund.
Yeah, I'd like to address that because the a little over 3 years that I've been on the council, I would consider the strains that this current council has gone through to be extreme. And we've made great steps without a lot of painstaking time. And, you know, we were working with 20% less people than what we had. And we're still providing a great service to the taxpayers of Boone. There has to be other entities that have to do that same thing. And the days of free lunch is over. In other words, we can't just send someone over there or just have an officer over there free of charge. It won't work. We can't afford to do it. We have to watch our budget. They have to watch their budget. You know, it doesn't matter whether it's a city, the county, the school district. Everyone has to be fiscally responsible. And sometimes, you know, it's tough. But like I said, this group really understands that because of the things we've done. And I want to read one thing and I know you probably read it, but I think this really hits it, because I'm like you, I thought about it a lot this weekend, and I've had a lot of tears in my eyes, and I don't know if I can continue to keep doing it without having it, because I've got grandkids, and I can't help but think that, you know, what would happen if we ever face that, and let's just hope it never does, but they always, it seems like it always goes back that if, long and short of it, if in fact they have to pay for that, it will hurt the education process. This was a teacher that wrote this. A school resource officer provides the student and teachers with a true community of learning. Sometimes things are brought to school because the school is the student's greatest stability and safety zone. The school resource officer allows classrooms to function maximally when there are issues that interfere with our day beyond the other resources, such as administration counselors, thus increasing the time students are able to remain at task. I don't think it could be better said, and they did say this, that they are a teacher. That hits it right on the head. And, you know, we can't tell them what to do with their business and their decisions, they have to live with them. But we do too. And I know we have a great public safety director and a great police department, and if in fact that they choose not to help fund it, that I know that we will respond as best as we can, but there's no way we can do what we're doing right now. And the rewards that are reaped because of having that officer in there, I don't think most people truly understand.
That's where it comes to prioritizing, just like we've had to do, when we budgeted, we prioritize. To me, safety should be a high priority.
Yeah, I mean, how can they, even say that statement? You know, I mean, the safety of children, you know, which has been proven.
Well, you know, I think we've done pretty well here. I'd say invite them over, we'll give them a few tips, believe it.
Well,
To be fair, the school board did plan on using dropout prevention money, and then the state last year came to them and said, the state Department of Ed said you can't do that. So.
We're gonna use what now?
Dropout prevention money. That's a certain fund that the state.
For years, they never used it.
For years they never used it, and
Yeah.
then for years, every school district could use it this way. And then last year, the state said, no, you can't use it for officers, you have to use it for counselors. But the general fund difficulties that's being cited is stated is they have to cut up to $450,000 out of their budget next year. And and this is quoted, saying to keep the philosophy of making reductions as far away from the classroom as possible, the SRO position is under consideration. Well, what better position to have in our SRO than to have someone doing these difficult jobs and keeping teachers in the classrooms? And that's all I gotta say on the subject.
Well, I agree with everything you already said, but I think that there's more than a little strain involved with our administration and our department heads and what we've done the last 4 years. I think it's been a tremendous strain.
but I think what Gary is saying, we've gotten through it, and it's been difficult, but it's.
Well, I didn't mean to
No.
make it sound like we didn't do it. They
Right.
worked hard, and I know they did. Painstaking efforts.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that.
Well, I think the other thing we also have to be cognizant of is the fact that our society today does not respect, at least our younger culture, I don't think understands how we did about law enforcement years ago. And I think when you have an officer in the school and those kids are around them, they learn to appreciate what that is for. And I firmly believe that. I think that there's so much value to having that officer around kids at that age, those ages, having them there. To know that there's somebody they can trust and not a whole.
Chief, how many times were we over there? I know you kept some numbers before we had an officer in there.
When I originally made the presentation to council, to pitch the idea of putting the SR in there, over a year and a half, I think we had over 200. Now, that's anything from a traffic accident to a vehicle unlock
Sure.
to something like, but over 200.
Well, cost.
If in fact that we were able to get together, or that they want to get together with us, I would ask that we look farther than just the balance of this next year. I think we need to look down the road a ways, and they may say, well, why? But I think that will show them that we're trying to be responsible with our tax dollars, and we need to know, get them thinking about it. I'm just hoping that they'll come together and that we'll be able to come up with some type of solution and negotiate this out. But we can't just look at one year. I think we have to include the whole situation for the next several years, because no one wants to get a curveball thrown at it. And that's my yeah.
If ultimately what we hear back is that they want to develop some kind of an avenue where we can work with them, whether it be holding a couple work sessions, whatnot, are there at least a couple of council members, I think there's a question. Okay. Okay.
Which
And then,
If that's, we can have more. Anybody else wants to sit on it? But the last message I got from you is okay, like you said, now.
I go crazy.
then that's what I need to know, so that if I do have that feedback, then I can say we've already discussed it, and we know the individuals that we want to meet.
Actually, I think it's good to have people who have children in that school, or in school, anywhere, or grandchildren, whatever.
This just makes you really think, doesn't it?
You did.
I would like to do this sooner than later, so we have a budget to work with. Anyway, those are my, Chief, do you have any comment on this?
I think you covered everything very well, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else have any comments? I've just had a lot of people call me or email me or reach out to me about it. They're pretty concerned. Residents are quite concerned that officer's not gonna be there, so. And with that, I'll move on to council member comments.
I just got one quick thing here. I was approached, around the old Lowell School and Bryant School. We still got no parking around there. Something if we could ease that, I don't know, that has to be ordinance that takes care of that, or how it's.
I'll bring that to public safety in January.
We'll get on that. It was one of the mailmen, he just happened to notice it going by, that about the school, we don't need more parking. Yeah. We need to take care of. Thank you.
Any other council comments?
I had one, and I drove up to where we did all the drawings, or the sewer work up there, and it looks very nice. Really looks good.
If anyone's been over to, if anyone has been over to the Bryant area where that new house is, they finally got all the siding and all the grass starting to grow back. Looks very nice. So we're pretty pleased with it.
Okay, so.
And I know you, Mayor, you touched on it, and I think you did too, Luke, but I would like to personally thank Barb for the job she's done. And publicly tell how much I appreciate what you've done and how you have been a leader. Department heads, we have a lot of great department heads, but you are truly a model department head. You truly are. And when you come to the meetings and you talk about you have to spend this, it's like you're spending your own money. And that's how I view it, and I mean that in a very positive way. And not that we don't have other department heads do the same thing, but you truly bring that out. And that's something that I think it's a trait that's wonderful. And I want to thank you. What you've done is a wonderful thing. Thank you, and enjoy your time.
Here, here.
Get us right about.
Yes.
Nice